Hi everyone, we will talk about starters, sourdough starters, and I will make one with you. Here I have my kitchen scale. It can be any kitchen scale. My one looks like this. And I put here my bowl, and here I have 100 grams of flour. I use rye flour. Even I want to make a wheat starter, a white regular starter. And I will explain you why. This is one of my tricks, not only mine, many bakers use it. And I tried it many times with different type of flours. And this is the perfect beginning, okay? Rye flour, whole rye flour, even if you want to make a white regular sourdough starter. We start with rye flour. And then slowly we will replace this flour with wheat flour, all-purpose or bread flour. And we will always keep 1%, like some amount of percentage, 30, of rye flour. This is a tip. This is a secret. Then I have to add water. We need warm water. You can, what should you buy to make a sourdough starter? It is a very simple equipment, kitchen scale and the thermometer with probe that you will use also for controlling the dough temperature, controlling the bread temperature. It's really useful, and it has to be 30-35 degrees Celsius depending on your room temperature, because the flour will be about the room will have the temperature about the room temperature, more or less. And we need to warm it up a bit. So I use a tap water because my tap water is okay. You can use bottled water depending if your tap water is not good. You decide it on your own. And then you just warm it up a bit, and you add here in 100 grams of rye flour, you add more or less 120-25 grams of water. And then you mix everything up. You hydrate all the flour first before making a decision if you make more water. Why is that? Because every flour needs its own amount of water. This is another tip I share with you, that amount of flour is always constant, and we achieve the needed consistency by water. We never add all water straight away. We have to observe the consistency. And here I have this kind of consistency. All flour is hydrated. And I have to say that it is a bit too dense. Why is it important? Because if it will be too liquidy, on the next step, when we will move this mixture to the jar, it can separate. You can see this. Some people who tried already to make their own starters have faced this problem when it gets separated. We see flour on the bottom and water on the top. It's not beautifully looking. We are expecting bubbling here, rising, and we don't see it because it was too liquidy. So here we need to achieve right consistency. We need to achieve a hummus consistency. And this doesn't look like hummus yet. We need to add a little bit more of water. And I recommend staying in the range of 125 grams to 150 grams of water. And I add more, 25 grams on the scale, you see. I put it on the scale, I press the button, I got 0, and I add 25 grams of water. And I will mix it again. And I will determine if it's enough, and it should be enough. Looking good already. I don't need more water. This consistency we should get, you see. And then what we do, we just place it in the big jar. The jar should be from 700 milligrams to 1 liter volume. and you see that, oh, you might ask, why do we need such a big jar? Why can't we use just a smaller one? And there is another tip of mine, because it's very simple. If you use a smaller jar, there will be not enough room for your starter, for your future starter, to rise. Once you mix flour and water, especially if water was warm, the fermentation starts and your mixture will rise, will get bubbles inside, and will get to its maximum, to its peak, and then it will fall. It will make a circle, this fermentation circle we call it. So to give it a room, to absorb it well, we need space, we need bigger jar. And then there is another important detail. We don't close it tight, we just put the lid on the top of it, making sure that there is air circulation. And this is another little detail that makes a big change. Remember, you just close it lightly, that nothing unnecessary, unwanted get in, but we still have a air circulation. So we mix flour and water, we mark the level now. And there is another tip. We have to put this jar in the warm place for next 2 days. And this we do only while we are building a starter. Once we build a starter, it can live in any conditions, even in the fridge. But first we make the most comfortable, nice conditions for this starter so it can grow faster. And you can make your bread. Normally it takes from 5 to 7 days to make a sourdough starter. So we have to put it in a warm place. Where can I find a warm place? I can put it in my oven and use a light mode. I can buy a sourdough starter home. There is this device now available. It wasn't available 5 years ago. Or a proofing box. Or I can put it on heated next to the heater. Or I can use a microwave. There are so many ways to find a warmer place. Okay, this is important. The ideal temperature should be between 26 to 30 degrees Celsius. Only for the first step, for the building your starter. Then we don't have to control temperature all the time. It can live just on your counter or in the fridge. Once it is ready, healthy and active. This is the very first step of sourdough making is done. I hope it was not complicated for you. Bye everyone. It was nice seeing you all and see you soon.